Hello, and welcome to I'll Knit With You. My name is Rebecca. You can find me on Ravelry, Instagram, and Steam as EvilTwin2. You can find show notes on the blog illknitwithyou.blogspot.com. You can find the group on Ravelry, I'll Knit With You, or you can email me illknitwithyou@gmail.com. Hi guys, how are all my owls and my yous? It has been longer than I intended. If you watched the last podcast that just popped up yesterday, you will see that I totally recorded a podcast and didn't share it with you. I waffled on whether to share it or not, but I thought it's not gonna hurt anything, right? So share it I did. So hope you guys have been great. I have been so busy. I normally record the podcast on the weekends, and I've had 0 weekends to myself, which means 0 recording time. I'm actually recording this on a Tuesday. I got up super early in the morning to record this before I went to work, so if I look really tired, that's what's going on. I've already had some caffeine, so hopefully that'll kick in pretty soon here. But I really just wanted to the podcast. I missed you guys so much, so I was like, I'm doing it. I'm getting up in the morning. It may have taken me a week to get up early in the morning to record the podcast, but here I am, and that's what matters. My life, okay, so obviously we've got no new fronts, and I've just skipped right into blather, which is fine. Let's do that. That's awesome. More power to you. Or me, I guess. A lot has happened in my knitting world. Whew. Okay, so one huge thing is that I got my first electric wheel, which I went to SSK, and I love my Ashford Kiwi. I have an Ashford Kiwi too. Don't get me wrong, I love that bad boy to the end and back, but I just don't get it out to spin on, because when I come home from work, I don't want to then, I also don't go exercise very often either. When I come home from work, I don't want to go do more work. And so I want to just chill by the TV and relax. And I looked at a bunch of different e-spinners, and I am part of the House Cup, the Harry Potter Knit and Crochet House Cup on Ravelry. And I love it there. And one of so I'm a Slytherin, so I have a snake nest or a manor, depending on what year you're from. And my banner was talking about electric eel wheels, and someone mentioned that they got one for under $200, and I was like, okay, they usually start at like $1,200, so what have you done? Electric eel wheels. I had never heard of them. They were a brand that was kickstarted by a wife her husband. I had a wife and husband team, and the husband wanted to make one for his wife, and so he did. And they are on their 5th iteration of them. I got the 4th one, which is louder, and I hear they're going to be some more up on the website in a month, so I don't know if I'll buy it or not. But it's not very expensive, but it's also Christmas time, so maybe I don't need to spend all my money on myself. But here is my electric eel wheel, 4th generation. My dad helped me modify it a little bit to make it a little quieter. And also add a thing for my orifice hook. So we added these two, my dad just kind of nailed them in. I was like, okay, well that's finished now. These two little like loopy, I don't even know, like loopy nails. I don't know what I'm sure there's a really fancy name for them, but I don't know what it is. But my orifice hook goes into this one, and then this one kind of holds it on there. So that way it's on the side and it's not going to be flying around, and I know where it is. And then, so here's my electric eel wheel, you guys. It has a foot pedal with it for on and off functions, which is awesome. This is the tension right here. Don't get it off because I don't like to stretch them out. Here's the front of it with the symbol. That's a really big orifice. You can make all sorts of yarns. And then, it's great. The bobbins supposedly hold a lot. I already done a spin on it. We'll get to that in Blobbins. It's fantastic. I can hear my TV over it if I turn my TV up, which isn't an issue where I live. But I don't feel like I can hear like the music and stuff, and I'm a big nerd, and so I like to hear all of the TV. So it might be better for audiobooks, but so is my other wheel. So I don't know. I haven't found my sweet spot with it yet. Now spinning wise, I've totally found my sweet spot with this sucker, but now it's just nailing down like in what situation is it the most appropriate. So electric eel wheel. I'm super pumped. I'll put this back over here before I drop it. Okay. I had a list of like changes I've liked that other people have modded onto their electric eel wheels, but I really only did, we did add some stuff to the bottom of it to make the motor quieter. because most of the sound is coming from this general area where the motor is. So we added a piece of insulation above the motor. It's kind of hard to see, but it's in there. And then on the back of this piece of wood, we added a bunch of like little foam stickies that you might add to like the feet of chairs, just to like dampen it a little bit and give it some sort of absorbency. So those are my big mods. But it worked out really great. It did make it just negligibly quieter. I used a decibel meter tool on my phone. So I don't know how accurate it was, but I did feel like it gave me a number to look at instead of saying like, that sounds loud, that sounds quiet. So it's pretty crazy. If we could have wrapped the entire motor in insulation, that would have made it like super quiet, but then there's no way to attach it. And some people have done it with rubber bands and all sorts of stuff, but I didn't want to mod it beyond what I felt comfortable with, and so that is where I left it. So anyway, electric eel wheel I will continue to use, and I'm sure continue to review, and maybe get my hands on one of these electric eel wheel 5. Now this is the 4, if I didn't say that already, so it is louder. It's known to be louder. I knew that when I was getting into it. I bought it, someone was destashing it. I bought it and the foot pedal and the orifice hook and everything, with shipping included, for $170, which was awesome. I wasn't expecting to do that at that time, but I did, and it worked out, and I love it. So that was a great surprise for me in September. So what else has been going on with me? Well, I visited my brother in Nashville, and I found out that one of my, actually, so a few months ago, I guess like a year ago in October, my family went to Chattanooga right before the fires, actually, Chattanooga, Tennessee. And I bumped into another person from the Harry Potter Knit Crochet House Cup when I was shopping for yarn at, what's it called? Bliss Yarns in Nashville. They were having a Miss Babs Trunk show. If you've watched the podcast a lot, I'm pretty sure I mentioned it then. And so we finally got to meet up and have like hangout time together. I did that on the way home. We talked for quite a long time, and I ended up getting home really late because of it, but it was awesome. It was totally worth it. I loved it. And she's looking at getting into spinning, and so I actually had my spinning wheel in my car from something else, and so she played with it a little bit, tried it out. That was really cool. And so I don't like to name drop people, which is not, I don't like to like tell people's usernames unless I got permission, and I didn't. So like, she was fun, I had fun, and it was a great time, and it was really cool to meet a knitter and like hang out on like just the way home from another trip, which is pretty awesome. I've got my notes over here, so if I'm glancing off camera, I'm sorry, but I've got to know what I'm talking about, so I get real distracted. My friends and I had a winery day. I'm not a huge drinker, so it's a little weird for me, but I do drink just a little bit. But we went to a place that had, they're big on ciders. They're an orchard instead of a winery, but they also sell wine. But so you can get like cider flights, so it's just like little amounts of different ciders they had to just try them all out, and that was really nice. That was just like perfect. And I took my knitting with me. I worked on a project that I will show you shortly, and that was really fun, and it was a gorgeous day. And I don't knit in the wild very often, but I had a really good time doing it. I am leaving, not this week, but the next week. I'm going to Dallas, Texas for Halloween. One of my best friends lives there, and she loves wearing costumes, and so do I, and so I'm looking forward to costuming it up with her. I'm super pumped, so I can't wait. And I went there a couple of years ago and just had a total blast. It was a great time. And then one of the bookstores that I went to that sells fountain pen and traveler's notebooks and all sorts of stuff like that, it's a Japanese bookstore, they just built one in Dallas, Texas, so we're gonna go to that, and I'm super pumped to buy a bunch of nerdy pens and notebooks. But it's more fun to pick it out in person than it is to buy stuff online by a lot. So I'm really looking forward to it. Okay, so what else? I feel like there's something else. Oh! Let me tell you what else. 2 more things? 3 more things? 2 more things. I don't know. I don't know if you guys have heard about this movie pass thing going around. There's a card you can get called a movie pass, and I got one. So they used to be $50 a month, and they were $40 a month, and they kind of waffle on their prices, but recently they switched it down to $10 a month. And what a movie pass is you pay $10 a month like Netflix, and you can go see a movie, and the card pays for it. You have to check into the movie theater and check into the movie that you're going to see, so it takes a couple seconds on your phone. but then that money is loaded onto your card and you just swipe and go see movies, and it's amazing. And you can only do one person on a card, one ticket on a card. So if you're in a family, it's a little bit of a stress, but I did it and it's awesome. So I've already seen like 5 movies, which well pays for the price of the membership, and I'm seeing another movie tonight. I'm seeing Blade Runner tonight, so I was super excited. I've seen it twice, I've seen Kingsman twice, and I saw something else. But I'm pumped. It's awesome. Movie Pass forever. Hurrah. When I ordered mine, they had just changed the price to $10, and so their servers were totally overwhelmed. It took me a while to get my card, but now people are getting them within a week. And the customer service is getting better, which is nice. So I'm looking forward to using that a lot more. I've also been reading the Chronicles of St. Mary's, which my friend Mary actually recommended to me. I met her at SSK. She's awesome. And we talk a lot on Ravelry. We haven't seen each other in a couple of years, and so we make time to talk to each other, which is nice. And she recommended me these books, the Chronicles of St. Mary's, and they are a time travel book. And some people don't like that. I really like time travel books. Like, I'm like, oh, there's time travel, sign me up. And most people are like, oh, there's time travel, sign me, cross my name out. I'm really, really enjoying them. They're awesome. They're very dramatic. Like, it's a little like you're on the edge of your seat for most of the books. Like, you gotta know what happens. And then sometimes the books end on cliffhangers because, you know, they're serious books. But the interesting thing about these books is that there's like a 1, a 1.5, a 2, and the 0.5s are short stories. And so they're like these little snippets of like tales that weren't quite enough to be a book, but not quite enough to leave by itself. So like audiobook wise, the full book might be 8-9 hours, but the 0.5 books are like 45 minutes, 1 hour. And some of them are free on Audible. So if you want to check it out, I think you can get some of them for free. I'm not sure if it was free because I had already bought something else or something like that. So they are really, really good. And so that was awesome. So one other thing I did was I volunteered at a local alpaca ranch for National Alpaca Days. And yes, it was just as amazing as it sounds. My friends Morgan and Judy own a alpaca ranch. They're a mother-daughter team. They're incredible. They are Roar Fibers on Etsy, probably Instagram too. There'll be links in the show notes, but Roar is for the Rolling Alpaca Ranch. Rolling Oak Alpaca Ranch, there's the O. And for my volunteer work, they gave me a huge bub of alpaca fiber, grade 3, which means it's not super soft, but it's not super coarse. It's like perfect. It's the cloudiest of the fibers. Well, I mean, one is the cloudiest, but 3 is like, you can wear it everywhere. So here it is. It's like this light, almost neutrally green, but I had my choice of a bunch of different stuff, and they're like, do you want this one? Do you want that one? She's like, you want color. I know you want color. So she brought me this one. And it has crushed rose and pearl in it. So when you spin it, your hands actually get softer, which is just the coolest thing ever. They sold some to someone else while I was there, and like the price they charged her was pretty high, so I cannot believe they gave this to me. I'm so thankful, so happy. And I had a blast volunteering for them. So they gave tours of their alpaca farm. It was such a cool experience. I didn't actually hang out that much with the alpacas. I was inside spinning and showing people around and helping out and answering questions. What little questions I knew the answers to. But it was just a really, really great time, and I had such a blast. Now let's move on to Blobbins. You can see what I finally spun on my new electric eel wheel. I spun something that I won at SSK, so like not even paid for fiber. It is from the Classy Squid Fiber Company. Now when I won this, it was so soft and so amazing. I immediately bought some stuff on her store online. Here's the whole information. This is the Icelandic Dream Mini Bats, and it has a ton of great stuff in it, and there's her website down at the bottom. And she just seems like a total sweetheart, or he, maybe, I don't know. They seem like a total sweetheart, and I was very excited about the whole thing. So they were rainbow bats, and I just did a regular like 2-ply. I split the bats. I made the rainbow match. I didn't do any crazy like fractals or anything like that, but I'm very happy with how it turned out. Let me unroll this here for you. Look at this, you guys. Look at all those colors. And it has a lot of silk noil in it. I really want to make this into like some fabulous hat because it's so soft. I just want to wear it on my face all the time. Very aggressive. But I think it'd make a great hat. I'm thinking a CC beanie. I don't know. And for those, I usually hold the yarn double anyway because it makes them really squishy and fluffy. And so it would invert my rainbow a little bit, but it would also mix my colors up. So, I don't know. I just love it. It's very soft. I wish you could touch it. And I got 286 yards, and it's 600 and, or no, it's not 600. I got 286 yards, and it's 66 grams total of weight. So that's really good yardage for me. And it was on my electric eel wheel, and I will say that since I'm not treadling and managing a bunch of little things, and I'm just doing the, and I'm just doing the drafting part of it, I feel like my spin is nicer and thinner, but I do feel like my plying is looser because I'm more like, just feed it in, just feed it in. So I maybe need to run this back through, I'm not sure, but I think it looks okay. But I don't know how strong it is, so that's the other concern. But I haven't knit with it yet, so I don't know, which doesn't mean that I also haven't spun anymore on there, because I like to knit with this first and see what I need to learn about my wheel. Does that make sense? Like, I need to finish the whole process of the first spin before I feel like I can spin something else and mess it up. So now on to my woes and my woes. So I'm actually knitting a lot of stuff that I've had my eye on for a while, which I'm pretty excited about. So it's a really good feeling to, like, it's all within my grasp. So one of those things is yarn that I bought for myself for my birthday, because that's what you do. And it is the Fall Winter Seasons Shawl. Ooh, my notebook's falling. Sorry. I didn't want a catastrophe. The Fall Season Shawl. Fall Winter Season Shawl. Oh my gosh, such a tongue twister. From Knit Picks. It's a set. It's a collection, or it's a kit. Blah. Should I start over? Yeah, okay. It's the Fall Winter Seasons Shawl from Knit Picks. It's a kit that you knit with their alpaca lace held double words. And I've done a couple other shawls like this. You hold 2 strands of, actually I use this method for my Hitafude as well, my gradient Hitafude. You hold 2 strands of a lace weight yarn, and when you're ready to change colors, you hold 1 of each strand, so you get this blend, and then you hold 2 of the same strand, and then you hold 1 of the next strand and the current strand, and then you hold 2 of the next ball. So it gives this really beautiful gradient look. Look at that. And it's kind of got this falling leaves pattern. Actually, this is the front, I believe. Let me show you all the sides, I guess. So it starts off with this red, which is named Rebecca. So that was just a happy coincidence. I'm so happy. So it starts off with this color. And this is actually like the red and the purple held together. I don't know if you can even see it if I hold it close enough. But it's 2 strands. And then this is the purple. And now I'm moving into this navy purple. Like, so it's a navy held with a purple. And all the yarns have funny names like Edgar and Oscar and stuff like that. So it just makes me really happy. This is the navy. It's really dark. And so it's kind of a hot mess right now too, apparently. But this is for my Order of the Phoenix, or my broom, call it the one, for the Harry Potter house cup. And I don't have to be done with this soon, which is good because I am not very far. But I've been working on so much stuff that I haven't really worked on it. And so what it's coming down to now, because I will be traveling next week, is what small projects can I get done, and what large projects am I taking with me? Because I'll still need to have something to work on. I need to get stuff done. But I could also like have, okay, so for the Harry Potter house cup, you have to turn in 1 class every month. But this term, I'm trying to do something called the Grand Dam, where you get 1,000 points in a term, which is hard, but not undoable. So I need to get all my classes in. All 6 classes is the maximum you can enter. And I'm working on my Persian Dreams blanket, which I showed you before, and I'll be showing you in my FOs. So I need to do more of those so that I can take stuff like this with me on my trip, so I can work on that in the plane and while I'm just hanging out at her house or when we're in the car or stuff like that. So got a lot to do. We'll figure it out. Oh, and this is in my Weasley Sisters podcast bag. Star Knits does bag making, and I did her club, which for myself for Christmas, because I do that kind of thing. And I said, I know that you guys used to have the Weasley Sisters podcast, which is TWSP, the Weasley Sisters podcast. I know you used to make bags. Do you still make fabric? Because I really like one, and so I got one where they're like Harry Potter characters with these big googly eyes. So I love it. Apparently all of my woes are actually my advanced studies in the Harry Potter Knit Crochet House Cup. So my other one is my pavement sweater. And I've not been wanting to make a pavement sweater for a long time, but I have been wanting to make more solid colored things because all of my stuff in my wardrobe is super colorful and sometimes you just need something simple. So this is my pavement sweater for my 50% in my owl, which is what I did achieve, which I didn't know if I would or not. I just had to get the sleeves done. So there's my sleeves. And they don't look very long, so, but they measure correctly. But the other thing is that I like to knit my sleeves right after I divide for them. So this is the neck. And then I immediately divided for sleeves. So I feel like they're going to be out here once it's done and they won't look so short. But I also have 1,700 yards of this yarn. So if my sleeves are too short, I'll just go back and fix it. But it's really nice because I haven't had to break my yarn except for the ends of the sleeves yet. Because I've been knitting from the outside for the body and from the inside for the sleeves. And I did the sleeves one at a time. So I'll have like 0 ends to weave in. It's pretty exciting. Okay, next up we have a few defeated foes, and I'm excited to show them to you guys. So first off, we have my newest Trago. My first Trago that I made was way too big, but I found that the Trago just fits me funny, which is unfortunate because I really like making them. But you knit this border around it, see this border? And it should fold over and kind of sit like extra space, but for some reason mine sit like a neck and they make my shoulders slide off my shoulders. And I tried knitting the back smaller on this one and it didn't really seem to fix anything. I went down a size and a couple of needle sizes, but it's not better. So, but it's still really comfortable and warm and squishy, so I don't really know what I'm complaining about, except that I am complaining. So I made this one for Quidditch round 1 and I got so many bonus points. And it's beautiful and it's perfect and everything. I love it. So the Trago is a great pattern that I've made before. I made one out of, I want to say it was, I got my notes right here. I'll just check. Sorry, I know this is really exciting. I didn't write it down because I'm a jerk. Well, it's in my project pages, which have been linked in the show notes. This one was made out of Cascade 220 in the Chelin Heather colorway. And it's great. It's awesome. It's fantastic. I wear it at work a lot because it's perfect. It's not too heavy, but it's not too light. It's like just enough to keep you warm without keeping you roasted, which is where I like my sweaters. My cardigans especially. So it was having a curling issue, which the other one didn't have at all. Where this whole border was curling, and I wondered if I don't know if I bound off too tight or if that was making it curl or what. So I really recently just reblocked the border, so now it's laying nice and flat for me. But you can kind of see some pins where the pins were at because it's kind of pointed there. But that'll wear out as I wear it, so I'm very happy with it. My next FO is some Persian Dreams squares, hexapuffs, hexagons, whatever you would call them. Ooh, so tingly. I have made a lot, so let me figure out where I started here. Okay, I believe that this is the first of my newest ones, this one right here. It reminds me of that like colorful corn that you see sometimes. Then I did this whole border, these 3 big ones. There we go. I'm trying to get used to the pattern. I did this one right here. This one's actually fingering weight held double. It's Nerd Girl yarns and the Nebula colorway. I have socks made out of this. Because one of the badges you can get from Eat Sleep Knit is to do a double yarn held double project. And so I'm going to make a couple squares like this so I can get that thing. So there's that one. I did another like colorful corn one. Ta-da! And so I realized that if I make about 7 a term for Harry Potter House Cup, then I will finish this totally on time. Now, 7 is more classes than I can turn in, but what happens is you can't turn in a project that has live stitches because it's not finished, right? But you can turn in blanket squares. But because I'm adding these as I go, and I don't want to bind off just to unbind off, I feel like that's ridiculous. I'm not going to do it. These last 2 that I made have open or live stitches on them. So these will be detention classes, which means I started them before the current month that it is. And I'll attach new squares to them. And then I'll get to a point where I have like a two square or 2 hex buffer. I actually have a really good drawing of it in my notebook. Hold on, I'll show you. So that I've got it all mapped out exactly how I'm going to do it. So that I know and I get it right. And I don't end up with like some wonky thing where I'm like, oh no, I've done this terribly wrong. So, here is my I'm gonna get really close. Here's my Persian Dreams. And I started numbering these so I could tell which ones I was on. Because I would put them in my project notes of which hexagon it was. Like hexagon 10 was this many yards, but I didn't forget which one 10 was. So this is the order that I made them. I made 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And so then for this term, I'm going to do these 3 outside and then these 2. And I will make these 2. Is that right? Yeah, I will make these 2 so that I have these 5 that I can turn in. And then next term, I will make these 5 that I can turn in, and this will be detention classes. So it's not near as much work as I thought I was going to have, but it's totally doable. I can do 5 squares in a month. Each one takes me about 8 or 9 hours, which is longer than most blanket pieces, but they're color work, and they're huge. They're like 120 yards or so, more if there's border, considerably more if there's border. And so, I don't know, just having a lot of fun, and it's a good time, and I feel like I've been doing math and stuff, and I really like it. Let me flip back over to my show notes so I know what I'm talking about really quick. So that's how that's going. And my main color, my border color, my background color is Cascade 220 Feather Gray. And I feel like it's not quite a white. It's not quite a cream. It's not really a gray. It's like... it's this beautiful dingy white, so I feel like if my blanket gets dirty, you won't even know. See, it's like this dingy grayish white. I don't know, I just really like it. It's perfect. I like getting... wow, my words just all left me. I like getting gradient or ombre yarns. I've done it before. I'm just gonna keep leaning out of frame apparently. And I've got one more to use for the rest of the blanket. So, because I don't want them all to be that way, that'd be a little bit much. But, so it'll do this for me, this color work, without me doing a bunch of color work, because the ombre or gradient yarn does it for me, which I think is just really smart. So if you don't think it's smart, then you're just crazy to get out of town. But I think it's smart, and I like it. So, yay! I have a couple more finished objects, so hold on. I have the Azel pullover. This is for my cousin Reese. She tried it on and cried the entire time, so that's always a good sign. But it's just super cute. It's this little thing. It's basically just a great big flat piece, and you don't even have to seam it because you do these buttons right here, and then the rest of this is armhole, right? So you knit it flat, just one big piece flat, and then you pick up this, you cast off and then you cast on, and you pick up those stitches to make the neck, which is just a great big tube that then they would wear folded over. So my one concern is that's going to be a little bit short on her, but I don't know. And I can always add more because this bottom ribbed edge is not very long. So there is that. I also have this, which I can't show you. I can show you this much of it. That's all I can show you. This is a test knit for Imagine Landscapes. The pattern has not been released yet. But I will show you when it is done. There'll be links and all that good stuff. And it's a really cute, like, half shawl bandana thing that I want to show you so bad. But I will not, because I'm not supposed to. I love doing test knits for her. She makes great patterns, and she's a really great designer because I had a couple issues with a couple of the charts on this one, and that's the whole point of testing, so I'm cool with it. But I was like, hey, you know, I don't know what to do, like blah 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 blah, what about this, what about that? She's like, oh, what do you try this, what do you try that? And so like we kind of spitballed on the thread, which was really cool. I don't know, I've never been that involved in the design process, where I feel like I'm influencing what everyone else is gonna get, so it's really awesome. And then she made a couple changes to the pattern, and everything worked crazy smooth, and it was awesome. So I really enjoyed that. So I know in my previous podcast I did mention some winners, but it's been long enough that I've recorded that even though they're kind of airing at the same time, that I'm just going to go ahead and read all of the winners who haven't claimed again. So this is for the Spring Summer Spectacular Sock Along Cowl. So we have one winner who is Frosty. That's the April winner. The May winner is Siberian Cat. The July winner is Lummy Call. The August winner is Waifu. The September winner is Lemmy Call. And the person who knit the most stuff, Lemmy Call, with 18 different individual sock posts, which is awesome. Congratulations all you guys. So what you need to do to claim prizes is, they were just mentioned in the last podcast. Claim which ones you want. There, I realize, are not enough prizes for everyone, so we will work that out. I have a couple of optional prizes to put in, but I kind of want some feedback on some stuff too. So if you're like, listen, none of those sock yarns really thrill me, talk to me. Well, I have some plans, but I'd rather discuss them one-on-one than just spitball a bunch of stuff. So we'll work it out. And the big winner, I have a couple of big options for you, so just let me know, because let me call you, have several things to claim. So we'll work it all out. It'll be awesome. So that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. I hope that you're doing amazing on this now Wednesday, even though I recorded this on a Tuesday. I hope you have awesome plans for Halloween, and if you don't, I hope you still have an awesome time, because not every holiday is for every person. Some people just don't enjoy different ones. So whether you're dressed in full costume or you're sitting at home knitting, I'll be with you. Bye guys!